It came upon a midnight clear. So the service today is, it comes upon a midnight clear. And a lot of times we always look back and at a lot of good things, and we remember them, and we ask them to be the foundation for now. And so it comes upon a midnight clear is just telling us that it's here and now. It came, it stayed, and it continues today. And I think that's our walk as metaphysical Christians, understanding that term, the living Christ. Christ is love. That whole hallelujah chorus is about love. And love will reign forever and ever, whether we're aware of it or not. Love will reign forever and ever. The blessing continues, whether we're aware of it or not. Whether we're aware of it or not. And the time we live in now, we would call the age of light, as we move from the Piscean age to the Aquarian age. The age of light, the age of spiritual enlightenment, to begin to know and understand who we are, and then to be that. So, whether we're aware of it or not. So we know the Christmas story, and we have all heard about the three magi, the priests and astrologers who followed the star because they knew what it represented. And don't you know that they'd spend a lot of years at night looking at the heavens, being aware of the energies and the messages that are constantly coming to this planet. And that star was a sign for them. It was a sign that foretold the coming of this Christed energy, this love of God made manifest through man. And so they go, the time is now. So they get on their camels. We've seen the movies, haven't we? Beautiful camels with all this opulence and stuff. And they ride into town. Lo and behold, no one knows what they're talking about. Hey, we came to see this new Christ child that's born, this new king of the earth. And no one knows what's happening. So he goes to Herod. Surely Herod would know. Herod doesn't know what's going on. So he says, y'all come back and I'll get the information that you're seeking. Because they want to know, well, where is he at? Where is this Christ child? And so they leave, and Herod calls all his, priests and scribes and stuff and says, what are they talking about? And then they go back into their books and go, yeah, this is foretold. This is going to happen. And so Herod represents the old male authority on the planet in that little world right then. Male action figure. The old male authority. The old male authority does not want to give up his authority. Jesus represents the new male authority. The new male authority, that is to guide. The old male authority, represented through Herod, used fear and manipulation to control people. The old male authority, the action of that time. The new male authority, Jesus the Christ, was going to use love and to be love to reveal acceptance, to begin to accept everyone, to begin to accept all life. So the leaders of those times were really preoccupied and occupied with keeping the status quo. Why change now? I've got a good thing going. I'm in power. People are doing what I make them do. I feel good. So we know how the story continues. He's not a happy camper. This is real. This is happening. The three wise men were sensitive to energies, and they could read his thoughts. They knew what he was thinking. They end up finding Jesus and Mary and Joseph and did their blessing, acknowledging, honoring, bearing gifts, representative of the spiritual gifts that Jesus the Christ was going to give. And then when they left, they didn't go through town and say, here, by the way, he's out here. Because they saw his heart. He was occupied and preoccupied for keeping his status quo. The new male action figure was going to rock the boat and change the way that we live on planet Earth. Good story? So as we look at who we are, and what do we see ourselves, how do we see ourselves in this story of man unfolding? So in the beginning of the Queer Gospel, there's a treatise, how's it go? Treatise, thank you. You know, about man, who is man. And this is just it's a real long paper, but this is the gist that I want to look at today. I want us all to look at today. Say, what is man? The bodies and the souls of men are finite things, and they will change. Yea, from the finite point of view, the time will come when they will be no more. The bodies and the souls of men are finite things. That means they will end. But man himself is not the body nor the soul. He is spirit and is a part of God. He's spirit and a part of God. That's not new. That's ancient wisdom. Man is spirit. Man is part of God. So that's what man is. So who is man? Man is who he thinks he is. Man is who he thinks he is. You know, we create with thought in this dimension. Man is who he thinks he is. When Jesus was asked about God, the Father, this is what Jesus said. When you see me, you see the Father. Don't you know that got him in trouble? But he could say that because he knew who he was. He knew he was spirit. He knew he was love, unconditional, manifest on planet Earth to continue the continuum. Then he says, these things I do, you should do these and greater. You should be more loving. You should be more accepting, more caring, more compassionate. This is what I've done. It wasn't about the miracles. It was about the love. How many ways can we show love? How many ways can we give love? How many ways can we allow ourselves to receive love? Don't you know Jesus knew how to receive love, didn't he? When Mary was putting oil on his feet, recognizing who he was and what was happening, what was going to happen. She was honoring him. And he just received it. He knew her heart. He knew the love that she was given. And he knew how important it is for us to receive love also. And people around said, what are you doing, Mary? We could have used that money to feed the poor. And Jesus says, hush, my children. Mary knows what she's doing, even if you don't. See, she was aware of that higher message of love. She wasn't preoccupied with the poor, so that it dictated her ability to give love freely. I think the message of it comes upon a midnight clear is to look at, if we're spiritual beings, what are we preoccupied with? What are we occupied with that keeps us from knowing who we truly are, what we truly are, spiritual beings. What are we preoccupied with? What occupies our time so much that it keeps us from living the life we were born to live? The teachings and walk of Jesus is such a beautiful example for us. And we hear those words, follow me. And so that example, is right up there for us. It's like, that's who I walk as, the Christ, in my unique expression, to be the love of God made manifest, to be the Word made manifest. So we look at that. So he gave us little things to do that supported who we are and who we are to become. Say love. Say Christ is love. Love God with your whole heart, mind, soul, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love, love, love. Do these things. Do these things in remembrance of me. So, what is our life but practice? How's that? We're doing everyday enlightenment in my Sunday morning class on Sunday. And it's beginning to look at who we are, letting go of old beliefs, patterns, even identities. Who we think we are, you see, and then we manifest that thought. And at the end, after we go through all these gateways, these 12 steps, so we go through them, and then it's like, okay, how do I make this work? And so the way that we make it work is to practice. Practice what it would look like to be enlightened. You see? Not wish. Practice. So if we want to be like Jesus, so we could practice acts of kindness, love, compassion. We could practice taking the time to commune with our Father. See, practice, we have it within us. It's just like when we work out. We do this work, and we practice at it, and then we lose our tummies and get our muscle mass up and our heart strong. We have to participate in it. If we want greater health, we have to practice at it. And maybe through the physical nature of exercise and diet and even thought. You know, when Cindy and I were starting out and everything, and like through Unity, the term was called practical Christianity. And basically the simple understanding of that is to practice Christianity, to practice those tenets of the Christ. Practice the tenets of love. Practical Christianity. What's really neat, as we begin to identify with, I am spirit. I am a part of God. God's a part of me. God's in everything and everyone and everything. So as we begin to walk, practicing, what would this look like? Taking the time to go within, to get the inner guidance, and then following it. So now our walk is practical immortality. Practical immortality. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? From our 3D world perspective, but from our spiritual understanding, if we're spirit and we're eternal, what does that mean? You see? So if we think we're mere mortals and we act as mere mortals, we get to have a mere mortal experience. Once we begin to practice, put into practice the teachings the inner knowing that's within us. We are a seed of God, and all the potencies and qualities and characteristics of God are within our heart, in that seed. Just like an apple seed. We're a seed of God. And so we have to practice. Give it a chance to reveal itself. Allowing love to reveal greater love. Allowing love to reveal greater love. Man can be looked at as the fabric of the universe. And through this fabric, through this form, we have the ability to transmit that universal truth of love. And as we take the action steps, following the guidance and doing our practice steps, that energy will begin to transmute, transform, and then mold this membrane, this fabric, this body into a new form. And we're in a walk from limitation into our unlimited nature. And that takes practice. It takes practice. Clarity. It came upon a midnight clear. It comes upon a midnight clear. Last night when I was upstairs meditating, talking to God, what do you want to share tomorrow? And I was sitting there and all these energies are around me and everything. It's about 10 o'clock at night. And this voice says, why don't you just go outside? Okay. So I get up, got my blue jeans t-shirt on, barefoot, walk downstairs out the front door. And I get outside and it's the most clear winter's night. Unnumbered stars. And it was so quiet. It came upon a midnight clear. It comes upon a midnight clear. So I just stood there. I walked around a little bit. It was cold, but I wasn't even in that energy. Just looking up at stars and walking around. It was just beautiful. A transcendent experience. And so I walked in the house, and Cindy's at our dining room table, and she's doing Christmas cards and stuff. And I goes, man, it's nice out there. She goes, do you want me to come out with you? I said, yes. So she gets her coat on and slips some shoes on, and we went outside. You know, we just stood outside, and I said, you see the Big Dipper? Yeah. There's a little one over there, and there's Orion's belt. And what a beautiful gift to begin to not only see the beauty of the universe, but in those moments, be the universe, to be infinity, to be eternal. In simple, quiet, clear moments that are ever present, Jesus was the love of God made manifest. Jesus was the Word of God made manifest. Because he knew it. Because he knew it. He knew it. He didn't hear about it, believe it. He knew it. And then he knew it to the point of being it. Walking it. Walking the walk. Talking the talk. And he always followed within. It's the Father within who doeth the works. It's the Father within who speaks the words. How grand is that for us to begin to walk like that? Every day. We're going through the checkout line at Kroger's. And just speak from your heart to that young man or woman that's in their own little world. They don't even want to see you. And you say something to interrupt the sequence. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Does not compute. You get their attention, then you can say something from your heart. You say, and you know what happens every time? They smile. They smile because we've touched your heart. From our heart to their heart, we've touched, we've connected, and we've moved into that space of oneness. There's no separation. There's no separation. And so every day, as we get clearer and clearer about who we are and what we are, we have the opportunity to express clearer and clearer. We have the opportunity to manifest clearer and clearer who we are. We're not manifesting our perfection now. See? None of us are. Doesn't matter. But once we begin to wake up and begin to feel that inner presence of God and begin our journey, God, we're loved and accepted every step of our way. God does not judge. The Christ loves and accepts and supports our walk. What a gift. What a beautiful gift. So Jesus knew who he was, and he lived it, he acted at it. How can we do that? Here's a quick list of how-tos. Higher living practices. Hold a higher purpose for yourself. Hold a higher purpose for yourself. Connect with and honor all life. Connect with and honor all life. Be open. Be open. We can't help but see how the world's changing before our eyes. And if we're open, we can begin to see it, ask to understand it, and then flow with that change. Or we could put our head in the sand like a proverbial ostrich. But don't you know we're still going to be affected? Practice acceptance. And all that is love in action. Love in action. Be creative. Be creative with whatever we're doing. Has anyone ever got bored with what they were doing? It's like, oh man, this is so mundane. I've done this a million times. And then we start sleepwalking through life. And then if someone comes around and wants to rock our boat a little bit, we hang on. We get preoccupied with our status quo. I'm okay with my boredom. I don't have it that bad. You see? So we always have that opportunity every day to be creative with what we're doing. To make a new choice. To do something different. Just like we say, a prayer is never unanswered. An action always has a reaction. Somewhere, as we begin to change our manifestation on planet Earth. Ask to feel, this is a hard one, ask to feel the love and support of the universe flowing to you and through you. Ask to feel the love of the universe flowing to you and through you. And you know, our egos are good, but you know what they do? Create separation. And so we can surrender and say, thy will be done. Thy will be done, Father. And then when we ask, thy will be done, Do it. Follow the guidance. Has anyone here ever gotten guidance and didn't follow it? I'll raise my hand. Oh, there's a couple people. Now they're opening them up. Yep. To the next step, to follow it. And then give to life. Give to life. We all are unique expressions, manifestations of God. We're all these little seeds of God. We're sprouting out. And we have these gifts that we can share. And just like this is a time of brotherhood, and so now we begin to just share our uniqueness with one another. And if we take a chance on sharing our uniqueness, which is a part of God, with others, we'll connect with others on that heart level. And they'll see us. They'll see us. Because if you believe it or not, we all want to be seen. We all want to be seen. The simple steps that we can take daily allow for clarity in our life, clarity in our understanding, and clarity in our manifestation. Give to life, i.e., partner with God. Partner with God. Let's go with that. And as we close our eyes, just imagine the door to the worldly way is closing. As we breathe, we're going to turn within to spirit. We're going to turn within to that radiant light within our heart. And just breathe and just follow that holy breath down into that magical garden that's illumined with the light of the Christ, the light of love. And as you stand in your garden, just breathe and feel the love and support that is yours right now. There's no waiting. Just breathe in God's love right now into your consciousness. As you stand in your garden, I want you to feel the support of God coming up through your feet and moving through your whole body. Breathing in God's love and feeling God's love. Knowing how loved and supported you are in your walk. And as you breathe and look around this mystical garden of love, just notice the beauty that surrounds you. If you can't see it, feel it. Ask to feel, ask to see. Or just know that as you've asked, it is. And in this place of unconditional love, as you feel your oneness with God, ask to see or to know one small step that you can take today that will support your practical immortality. And just breathe and listen. You might hear, breathe and look. You might see, breathe and know. And it's simple. And you know you can do it. And as you stand in your garden, feeling your oneness with God and love, you know it's time. Breathe and feel. Your time is now. And just become aware of a radiant calm of light showering over you, lifting you, and feel yourself moving through this stream of light. And we're transported back into this room. Take a breath and feel that quickening in your heart once again. I am. Be still and know. I am. I am with you always. Breathe, feel, and know. And just gently open your eyes. To usher in this age of light, we all must play our part. And it's as simple as the little voice or vision or knowing that we receive today. One little step supports the continuum of our Christed evolution on planet Earth. What a wonderful life we have, isn't it? What a wonderful life. I think this is better than the movie. It's more fun because it's participatory. Yay, God.
Yay, God.